Hey everybody, Tim Kaine here. I'm glad to have an opportunity just to send a message, a positive message, to the Virginia Organizing Project as you're doing your annual Grassroots gathering to talk about important organizing issues around Virginia. You know the priorities that matter to you. I travel around the state a lot. I see Virginia Organizing Project presence at many of the events that I do, and I talk to you about issues that matter to you at the state level or in your communities. But what I thought I would do is maybe pull back to just look at how important organizing is to frankly, our constitutional form of government. The Constitution is imperfect. It was imperfect when it was drafted, and because we as human beings are imperfect, we've improved it over time. It still has areas that are ambiguous or challenging. Some of our constitutional institutions are being stressed and tested every day in a way that has been unusual in my life. But there's also some things about the Constitution that I noticed that really suggest that the framers were grappling with tough questions and they understood some things about the way our nation should work. And one of them deals with organizing. The First Amendment to the Constitution is one of the most known in the Bill of Rights because it's freedom of speech and freedom of the press, but the First Amendment and freedom of religion, both the free exercise of religion, but also the prohibition of there being a state religion, no establishment of religion. But a part of the First Amendment that maybe isn't discussed as much is the freedom to peacefully assemble and petition government for redress of grievances. I've always found that to be very fascinating. Elections are important, but what that clause tells us is from the very beginnings of the nation, those imperfect individuals who were framing the Constitution, they understood that elections weren't enough. If elections were everything, you wouldn't have needed to guarantee people the right to peacefully assemble and petition government for redress of grievances. You could have just said, hey, if you don't like the way government is treating you, then elect different people. But right from the very beginning, it was understood that in a democracy, you need to be able to gather in groups, yes, peacefully, but also then present your case to government and try to get government to correct what they're doing wrong. I mean, that is a 18th century version of what we would call organizing, gathering and presenting petitions for grievances, and by doing so, helping the government get better. That's what organizing is about. Often organizing is about more than just government, local, state, or federal. It can be about private actors and trying to get them to do the right thing. But organizing really starts with being able to have a democratic government that is responsive to people's needs, that listens. So often people who are disadvantaged don't have a voice. They may not have a big pocketbook to give a big campaign contribution. In a state of 8.5 million or a nation of 330 million, a lot of people wonder if their vote or their voice really matters. But when you can engage in collective action and then present, here's an issue, here's the way we think we could resolve it, here's why the current approach isn't working right, here's a better way to do it. When you can do that, you can really have power. And that's what the Virginia Organizing Project is about. So as I thought about just giving you a little bit of inspiration today and encouragement and thanks, I thought it's just important to make the connection between what you do and the very foundations of what democratic government is about. So keep gathering, keep engaging in the presentation of your issues to government at all levels so that we can be more responsive and do a better job. Thanks. Have a great symposium.